And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. Yeah, I'm laughing just a wee bit. Hey, it is, I'll explain in a second. It's Thursday, June 5th. It's 2025. I hope you are having a good day. Ladies and gentlemen, what we do here is serious talk on everything that affects you. We do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, debt and deficits, Doge, the big, beautiful bill, and whatever else that we think really does matter. Today was one of those days. We have told you that going forward that we are going to do a show. We heard from people when we wanted suggestions. We wanted to know what you think, and everybody wants us to start with the markets from the get-go. And when we add the political side, we'll do that afterwards. But some days, when we start with the markets, we have no choice but to do the political side, which is somewhat unfortunate every now and then. So I hope you don't mind, as we do the show today, some serious crap happened today that had some impact today on markets. So, next up, if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our Twitter feed, which is now X. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. And if you'd like to email us, just be nice. And ladies and gentlemen, we're under the radar here. You know that, right? We don't have millions. We should. And the reason we say that is because we're one of the few that have no bias. We have no ulterior motive, no agenda. We believe in we the people. We lost any love for anybody in D.C. A very long time ago. They have proven their lack of worth. 37 trillion of debt and deficits tell you that. So let me tell you about today and the market, just so you know. Tesla dropped $45 today. I'm going to take that back. I got it, including aftermarket, $50 today. Tesla. Volume was very heavy. And as you know, we have been saying to you on this show, well, they have some issues as far as selling autos around the globe. The numbers year over year have been very rough. And all the analysts that have been telling you they love Tesla have been calling about robo-taxis and things like that. Well, something different happened today. Elon Musk came out against the Republican tax/spending bill. And as a good American, he has every right to do that. We are against the bill. We like the tax cut permanency, but we believe that the Republicans have completely let everybody down. That is our opinion, and it's actually a fact. The president went after Elon Musk today and threatened to take his contracts for SpaceX and whatever else away. And Tesla stock drops $50 today. Now, we're not making an opinion on what and why. We're just stating a fact that because of something that happened out of D.C. today, Tesla dropped. It's about $50 as we speak on very heavy volume. We'll get into the other part of the equation later. We want to stick with the markets. Palantir, probably one of the top 5 talked about stocks in the market. Well, it dropped today. I got it down $10.20 today, 7% and change. Republicans came out against Palantir today, and you can time the drop with an article that came out on Palantir. They get a bunch of their business from government, and there's a lot of questions on whether they are eyeing or spying or collecting data on Americans. And we don't know if that's true or not, but we're just letting you know because of something out of the Republican side today. And by the way, we're not ripping on the Republicans. We're just stating facts. A very popular stock got clonked today. And by the way, early in the day, it was 132.85. It's 119.70 as I speak right now. So definitive 1-2 punch, direct correlation between the ongoings out of DC and a couple of very important stocks. So I just wanted to start with that. What also happened today was the market was acting pretty darn well. But when it got noisy out of DC, and I do believe we can attach it to that, markets got hit at the end of the day. The NASDAQ today closed down 162 points. But at one time today, let's see, was up about 160. We'll see what tomorrow brings. The Dow today finished down 108. Am I correct? Yeah. The Dow today was at one time up to 60. So we think, I wouldn't call it confusion. I would call it, what the hell is this? Entered the fray today in the markets, particularly on two stocks. And whatever. We'll let you come up with opinions on a president threatening a businessman for disagreeing with a bill. But by the way, later in the show, as we have told you, we're completely against the bill. But if our back was against the wall and there was no other choice, I'd have to sign it because we do not want to raise taxes on everyone. And that's what it is. If you let the tax cuts expire, everybody gets a tax hike. And by the way, the scummy, sleazy, lying media is out there saying that those tax cuts were only for the rich. Just remember, they're full of crap. The rest of the market today, just some sore thumbs sticking out, if you don't mind. Costco. What have we been telling you about Costco? It's like the greatest company, right? It's fantastic. And by the way, they make a ton of their profits from the membership fees. Costco came out with their monthly number. Stock was down $41 today. On its earnings report was up like 50. But we always say to you, how does this stock have a price earnings multiple of 60-something times earnings? And today, it was down a little. Just remember, a company like this growing 10% should be trading at 25 times earnings. It should be cut in half. But some stocks have this great premium in them because of who they are. Costco. So just letting you know, that was a little bit of a sore thumb for me. I would love to own the stock. I'm not buying a 10% grower. No way. With 60 times earnings, especially a mature company. That said, a year ago it was not, well, it's up about 15% from a year ago. I didn't own it. Oh well. I wouldn't have minded owning it. So that stood out like a sore thumb. What else today? Well, besides the fact of we were hot early and we sold off, not much else stuck out. But I always keep in my mind cause and effect. We just came off of, the tariff thing that may or may not be going on. Oh, and in other news, the president did speak to Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping. I think I'm pretty sure that's how it's announced. Today, and the president said the phone call went well, but we didn't get really anything else out of that. So we'll see what that brings. We still have no trade deals, even though they're calling the United Kingdom a trade deal. It wasn't. We'll keep you informed. Up next, more in the markets, and then the real world. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So we'll call it a wicked day today. The indices. Well, first let's talk 10-year yield. Was down early, finished up today. No biggie. What is the 10-year yield doing? Not a lot. All the talk of the Fed, what do we think? We think the Fed should do nothing. We'd be happy if they just plain old do nothing. The Fed. What else? Oil prices, just letting you know, they're kind of sort of fine. Oil prices right now are pretty much, do you know they've been trading going back to March of 22? Most of the time, I'm using the USO, it's an ETF. Most of the time between 65 and 75. Hardly big swings. It's gone to 80 a couple of times. It's gone to 60 a couple of times. But pretty much 65 to 75. And oil prices have been calm. We don't mind that. Oil stocks, not so good. Pretty much bear markets. You got a few that act well and a few that stand out, but nothing great. But oil going down, interest rates going down, not the Fed, but real rates, always good news. And they are cooperating right now. Not crashing or anything, but I call it cooperating. The major indices, the Dow remains the weakest of the big. And just remember why. United Health. United Health is still, let's see, closed at 296, was 606, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks ago. So all I got to do is take out my little calculator and realize that's $310 times 6.5. That's 2,000 Dow points. Now, as you know, everything counts. But if United Health just was flat, add 2,000 Dow points. Of course, everything counts. The S&P, since it does not, United Health is not a big deal, is much better than the Dow, but has not taken out the highs. We had a crash, a pause, the taco, and then the same pause on China, and then the pause on the European Union. Taco, taco, taco. By the way, we just use that in jest. We don't blame the president. We think he's actually doing the right thing because they realized they were crashing the markets with those crazy tariffs that we don't think they will ever do again. At least we hope not. The NASDAQ. By the way, when I did the taco thing yesterday and mentioned Taco Viva, my favorite place when I was in high school in North Miami Beach, I got like 10 emails from people that said they used to love Taco Viva. And one person emailed us and said they worked there in North Miami Beach. They didn't remember me. The NASDAQ back up into big resistance from December, January, and February. And have done the same thing, and the same as the NASDAQ 100. And then there's the lowly Russell 2000, where, let me just state for the record, if it can break above 2,115, that would be a help. Watch 2115. That would be a help. That is the high of about 3 weeks ago, and 2110 was the high in March. That said, big caps remain so much stronger than small caps. And as I've told you, last year I attempted a couple of breakouts on the small cap indices, and both times I stopped out. Full and fair disclosure. I don't even want to look at them again. It may have been 3 times. I know definitely 2. And by the way, when I mean stop out, we lost a little bit. We don't play around with the downside when we're wrong. So rough day today. Rough finish. It was kind of sort of all over the map today. What's tomorrow beats the hell out of me, but I'm here to report to you important Broadcom, which has been really strong semiconductor/AI stock, is down about $10 in the aftermarket on their earnings report. That's as of now, that can change. So you're getting a little bit of weakness. NVIDIA's down 3 totally today. You're getting some weakness in the other semiconductors. When the strongest name comes in on earnings, and I'm seeing that as of this second, not the end of the world because it's had a good move, but that could have an impact tomorrow. And of course, it's Friday and the world's going nuts. So you never know. And again, if that changes while we're on the air, we'll let you know because the market's insane anyhow. But what you want to do is check it out overnight. Also got to mention Lululemon. I got it closing at $330.78. You ready? It's down $57 in the aftermarket. I'm wondering if Lululemon is saying something about tariffs. Oh, they see EPS below consensus. That's what they say. Whoops. $57 on Lululemon. As I'll continue to say, I don't understand people buying at Lululemon when you can buy the same stuff elsewhere for a lot cheaper. But I guess, why do I buy Nike or Adidas versus something else? Brand name, right? So not a good close for Lululemon. There's a few others in the aftermarket. If I see anything of note, we'll let you know. But the Broadcom could have an impact if it stays that way. Actually, it's only down $8 now. Make that $7. And that wouldn't be a big deal. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Just a very eventful day today. I turned off the sound on my TV because I didn't want to hear it anymore. But what we want to do, though, you know how they've been saying, and the president's been saying, the debt ceiling? And now he wants to get rid of the debt ceiling? Our president. You know how they're saying you've got to pass this bill and don't worry about the spending? You know that, right? Well, we want to make sure that you know without any bias what we are all up against. And we're up against it. We'll explain as we move on. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Ba-da-da. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Thanks for being with us today. A icky day. A lot of jello moving on the plate. As we said, Palantir, by the way, is now down $12 totally with aftermarket. Tesla down $53 today with aftermarket. And the thought process is government. The long arm of government. Palantir was fine today, and then an article comes out that Republicans are pissed off and don't believe, and they'll talk about how much money they're getting from government and the worry about spying, even though Palantir came out and said, no, we don't do that. It didn't stop it from dropping. And of course, Tesla, as we said to you, dang. That's all I can tell you. And I think the bloom is off the rose now on Tesla and the friendliness that's going on. What else today? Transports were down, and we've never gotten bullish on them. They've rallied up a little bit. The semiconductors were down. They were strong early, and they'll probably be down a little bit tomorrow because of Broadcom. Financials, Goldman Sachs was again teasing, breaking some support, and then reversed and finished pretty good, hanging in there, but not much going on. Uptrends, there's not a ton of them. Breakouts, some have worked, a lot of them have failed. European markets still stronger than ours. The Asian markets, not really. And tomorrow's another day. We're pretty much past earnings. We're entering the end of quarter real soon. And then starting the third week of July, we'll get all the earnings reports. But the big stories that have just really overtaken a lot. And remember, markets used to be forecasters of the future down the road. But now you're dealing with, hey, what's happening today? And boy, oh boy, have we been dealing with it. Just trying to keep our head above water, being smart about it, knowing things can change in a second. So, without further ado, who said this? No member of Congress should be eligible for re-election if our country's budget is not balanced. Deficits not allowed. Who said that? Donald Trump before he was president. I guess not anymore, right? Who said this? Interesting. And by the way, who said this in 2023 while Joe Biden was president? The federal debt has just topped $31.4 trillion. And the Congressional Budget Office now estimates federal spending for fiscal year 2023 will total $6.22 trillion, or more than 197,000 per second. This is not sustainable. Who said this? Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said this in 2023. But at $37 trillion, we should go bigger on the debt and deficits. Who said this? I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican and I am embarrassed. Who said this? I'm going to read this one over again. I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican and I am embarrassed. Who said this? Donald Trump before he was president. So Donald Trump said we should not have deficits and we should not extend the debt ceiling. But now the opposite. Now you know why we're screwed? Everything changes when somebody's in power. As we've told you for years, spending and debt and deficits are their mother's milk. Because it goes into GDP and helps along the economy. Because it's just conjured up money out of thin air entering the economy. They know the game. So when I hear that Donald Trump is not a politician, he is a politician extraordinaire. I just gave you two wicked examples. And again, we have no bias. We don't care. We want good policy. That's all. That's all. We don't care who's in the White House. Doesn't matter to us. If it's an R or a D or an I or the Whig Party, if they do a good job, we're all for it. Well, what we ended up with is just the same old, same old. This administration and this party are nothing but debt-laden, deficit spending, gargantuan money spending, out of control, not caring a bit about it. That's all. And a person in Elon Musk who dared disagree, Donald Trump puts out this. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. So now all of a sudden, somebody disagrees with this president, I'm coming after you. Just letting you know. Just stating what he said. We'll let you decide. Where this ends up, I have no freaking clue. All I can tell you, we completely disagree with the spending and the debt and deficits out of this bill. But as we stated, if there was no other choice, we'd have no choice. Backs would be against the wall. We cannot have that big tax hike. And that's why the Republicans put this together like this, to put backs against the wall. They don't dare put a good budget in there with that. So let's take advantage. So we have no love for what they're doing and what they're trying to do, and by the way, what they will get away with. I will promise you, something like this bill will get approved. The Senate will come around. There'll be some changes. They'll cut a couple of things maybe. They'll do this, that, or the other thing maybe. But we're headed to 40 trillion, 45, 50. And the president, he's gone in 3.5 years. Case closed. By the way, Broadcom is only down $3 in the aftermarket now. That's good to see. By the way, that symbol's AVGO. By the way, I take it back. It's only down $1.70 in the aftermarket. It was down $1.15 today. That's pretty good. I'll have to look over those numbers. And just remember, before you start emailing, the only thing we care about is we the people. They have proven to us that they are not on our side when it comes to doing the right thing and handling the checkbook the right way. Both parties, every one of them. Every one of them. We might as well have had on this Kamala Harris. But I have to repeat, we do think the tax cuts making permanent are very important. That's why they put it together that way. And that's our little stance come heck or high water. I think it's quite unfortunate what we're seeing. I feel like I'm watching a couple of 13-year-olds. The wealthiest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world fighting tooth and nail now. And that's going to be big headlines. I gather a couple of networks going to have a field day. Up next, this, that, and the other thing, whatever else. I'm Gary. This is one only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. And by the way, to see what we're dealing with as the president now rips Elon Musk. Let me give you a quote. Elon has never asked me for a thing. I mean, I got rid of the EV mandate, but he's never asked me for a thing. I think that's an amazing attribute. Elon is a patriot. We want to thank you very much for the job you're doing. Now Elon's the Antichrist because he doesn't like a spending bill. Yay, we move on. Where, I don't know, but we move on. Markets pull back today, maybe a little bit more, but I think are acting pretty decently. Not everything. And I can tell you that breakouts hard to come by. The new yearly high list has never picked up in a very big way, but maybe that's because we were down so much. I could tell you I went top heavy with the big indices, and it's calmed down my movement. And if the big indices want to continue to perform, fine. If they can ever bust out above the highs of December, January, and February. And I'm not talking the Dow, because that's a ways away. And you still have a few stocks in the Dow that act like crap, but United Health, again, the Dow's at 42.3, United Health is 2,000 points in just 8 weeks. Which, by the way, is still stunning. And by the way, on that, I get so many questions on it, and my answer is always, I don't know. That murder by Luigi, may him hang in a 6x9 cell the rest of his frickin' life, while some crazy people are giving him money, and some women want to marry him. Yeah, you go marry a murderer. I think a big issue United Health has going forward is, just remember, they have been accused and they have not refuted how many claims they knock out on a percentage basis versus everyone else. That's big time stuff. And if you know us, where there's uncertainty, we will tend to stay away from. And dang, there was uncertainty back in April when it gapped down to 490. And even back then, we said to you, I don't know. But where there's uncertainty, we take a powder. It's now 295. The same thing with Boeing. I still remember a long while ago, the two tragedies, the two plane crashes, and the horrible response by Boeing. And I was consistently getting, don't you think, don't you think, don't you think, don't you think? And I would say, I don't know. And I can tell you, it is now, from the high was 19, so we're talking 6 years. 6 years. The stock is at 209. The high was 446. I don't know. Stock is now acting better because they are now getting some decent size orders. We'll see. They got a lot of reputation building. And you know what they were just able to do, I heard? Pay $1 billion fine and no indictments. Isn't it good to be connected to government? Feels like 2008 all over again. All the fraud and crimes committed by the heads of big financial firms, not one was indicted. They all made zillions afterwards. In fact, our government turned over $800 billion of our tax dollars to them to save their asses. And just so you know, one of them, Citigroup, should have gone out also. They let them do they kicked Lehman out on purpose. They let Citigroup do a restructuring to the point where you know how bad it is? It's $76. But it's really $760. The stock did a 1-for-10 split. So with the 1-for-10 split, the high in 2007 was $570. Citigroup $76 right now. It pays to be good friends with the peeps in DC, ladies and gentlemen. The latest that's going on that will never get done, stock trading. Oh, we're finding out the trading of the many in DC that we would go to jail for insider trading. They're doing it out of habit. We're seeing, not hearing, people on committees that oversee certain companies buying into those companies, knowing there's decisions coming on those companies, and it's always in the way that they make the bucks. Just so you know, it's being reported every day. There's actually Twitter feeds that do nothing but that. There's actually a guy that's putting together a fund that follows the trading of our wonderful miscreants in DC. I'd like to say it's funny, but it's not. It's sickening. There's a call for the stopping of stock trading. It ain't getting done. That's the problem. The people that have brought us the $37 trillion of debt going to 40, and it ain't getting any better. Wish we had better news. Hopefully a better day tomorrow. Quite the day today. You turn on the news tonight, your probably head would spin around 14 times. It's going to be the Musk-Trump battle royal. Have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Serenity now. Good night.